My dear friends, my sons and daughters, I am going to tell you the story of two brothers because this story will completely change the way you see every financial decision you make for the rest of your life. It is a very important story and I want you to know it. These two brothers grew up in the same house, shared the same parents, attended the same schools, chose similar careers, and earned nearly identical salaries throughout their entire working lives. But still, at 65, one retired with $1.4 million in investments, a paid-off house, and complete financial freedom. He spends winters in Arizona and helps his grandchildren with college costs, while the other, retired with only $180,000 in savings and a mortgage with 12 years remaining, he works part-time at a hardware store because Social Security does not cover his expenses, and he lies awake at night, calculating whether he can afford his medications or his property taxes. Identical genes, identical upbringing, identical earning power, and completely different outcomes. And, my dear children, I want you to understand this. This divergence did not happen in their 20s or their 30s or their 50s. It happened entirely in their 40s, and that is why I am going to explain the importance of your 40s through a series of decisions that seemed small at the time but were quietly determining the entire shape of their remaining lives. And neither of them realized what those decisions meant at the time. Your 40s, my dear friends, sit at the exact intersection of three financial forces that never align at any other point in your life. And understanding these forces explains why this decade will determine everything that follows. The first is peak earning power, because for most professionals, income reaches its maximum somewhere between 42 and 55. And for the raises that felt significant in your 30s, there are two possibilities. Either they slow down or they stop completely, but the absolute dollar amounts are at the highest point of your life and will likely never be this high again. The second is remaining compounding time, because at 40 you still have 20 to 25 years until traditional retirement, and that is enough time for a single dollar invested at 40 to roughly quadruple by 65, whereas at 50 that same dollar only grows to about 2.5 times, and at 55 only about double. And the third is expense stabilization, because in your 40s, children become more independent. The house fits comfortably within your budget, and a margin or an image emerges that simply did not exist in your 30s when every expense category was growing simultaneously, and the only question is whether that margin will flow towards savings or get absorbed into lifestyle expansion. Now, let me show you the real numbers, my sons and daughters, because I truly want you to feel this deep in your bones. Someone who starts at 40 with $100,000 in savings and consistently directs 15% of their income toward investments until 65 will accumulate approximately $1.35 million. But someone who saves only 5% during their 40s and then panics at 50 and jumps to 15% will end up with only $780,000, meaning $570,000 less, despite only 10 years of reduced contributions. Because the contributions made in the 40s have 25 years to compound, while the contributions made in the 50s have only 15 years, and the mathematical leverage of time cannot be recovered through increased contributions in later years. The first decision that destroys wealth in your 40s is the housing upgrade, my dear friends, because the family that moves from a $350,000 home to a $600,000 home has increased their monthly expenses by $1,500 to $2,000, and that difference compounding over 25 years turns into a loss of somewhere between $900,000 and $1.3 million in retirement wealth, meaning this family is not just buying a bigger house. They are buying $1 million worth of financial stress in retirement without even realizing it. While the family that stays in the modest home and directs the difference toward investments gains options like retiring earlier, working part-time instead of full-time in their 60s, and being able to help their children buy homes. The second decision involves vehicles, my sons and daughters, because the family running two $45,000 cars instead of two $28,000 cars can lose somewhere between $200,000 and $400,000 in retirement wealth over time. And this is actually quite frustrating, but they simply cannot see it. And the third decision involves children's education, because parents who drain retirement accounts or take on massive parent loans to fund prestigious universities enter their 50s with exhaustingly depleted savings and only 1 decade left to recover, while their children graduate into peak earning years with their entire careers still ahead of them. The fourth decision is career risk tolerance, my dear friends, because your 40s open doors to career moves that could significantly increase your income. But many people become increasingly risk-averse during this exact period, protecting the seniority and comfort they have built with their current employer and feeling the threat of starting over somewhere new. Whereas the person who takes a strategic career risk at 43 has time to recover if it does not work out. But someone who waits until 53 does not have that chance. And the income difference between pursuing growth and staying comfortable can exceed $30,000 to $40,000 annually, meaning $300,000 to $400,000 in additional earnings over 10 years. Now, let me tell you about David and Christine, my sons and daughters, because they are the story of every family that makes reasonable-looking decisions that quietly destroy their future. At 40, they had $185,000 in savings and a combined income of $165,000. David wanted to upgrade the house. Christine hesitated but eventually agreed. Monthly costs increased by $1,650, and retirement contributions were reduced from 15% to 6%. 2 years later, David's car broke down, and instead of repairing it, they bought a new SUV. Then Christine's car was upgraded too. The children's high school years brought private sports training and SAT coaching, and when the first child enrolled at an out-of-state university, they took a parent loan instead of asking their daughter to choose a more affordable option. And throughout their 40s, David and Christine never felt financially irresponsible. Every individual decision seemed reasonable. But at 50, their retirement accounts held only $240,000. And despite catching up aggressively by 65, they had accumulated only $685,000, a number that would very likely run out before they turned 82. Robert and Jennifer, my dear friends, looked almost identical to David and Christine at 40, but Jennifer pushed back hard on the housing upgrade and had read and understood the mathematical impact of housing decisions on retirement outcomes. When the time came to replace a car, they bought a 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle. They had honest conversations with their children about college costs, and both kids attended state universities on merit scholarships. Throughout their 40s, they felt like they were swimming against the social current. But at 50, their retirement accounts held $580,000, and by 65, they had accumulated $1.65 million, which is a tremendous number. Their house was fully paid off. They could travel whenever they wanted and never had to worry about money again. And here is what I find most striking, my dear children. Research consistently and regularly shows that lifestyle inflation provides only temporary happiness. Because within 18 to 24 months, people adapt to their new normal, meaning David and Christine did not actually enjoy their 40s any more than Robert and Jennifer. They simply spent more and permanently constrained every decade that followed. The upgraded house may have felt exciting for 18 months, but then becomes normal while permanently reducing retirement savings. The luxury car provides excitement for a year and then becomes just a car while permanently limiting options. So, let me now speak directly to your heart, my dear friends, my sons and daughters whom I love as my own. If you are in your 20s or 30s, you have the gift of knowing what is coming, and you must build the habits right now in this moment that will protect you. Then, no matter what pressure you face, never reduce your retirement contributions. If you're entering your 40s, you're standing at the most important financial turning point of your entire life. And now ask yourself honestly, is your housing appropriately sized? Are your vehicles transportation or status symbols? Are you funding your retirement before your lifestyle? And if you are in your late 40s and recognizing yourself in the wrong story, know that it is not too late. Every single percentage point you add to your savings rate today will meaningfully improve your outcome. Picture yourself at 70 years old, my dear children. In one version, you are sitting quietly on your porch, thinking about which grandchild you will visit this month, planning a trip to somewhere you have always wanted to see, living a life where unexpected expenses do not threaten your stability, and this does not bother you because you feel completely at ease. In the other version, you are calculating whether this month's Social Security check will cover your medications. You are under enormous pressure and stress with limited options. You are wondering what will happen if your car needs repairs, and you are lying awake at night with the anxiety of an uncertain future and limited choices there. And both versions of you made their 40s decisions decades earlier and are simply living with the consequences. So I ask you today, which version of your 70-year-old self are you creating right now? Do not forget to share your thoughts in the comments and to like the video and subscribe for more content. Best of luck to you all.